So why does LinkedIn not work for so many people? Why does it not work? So I'm going to answer this question and show you a different way of using LinkedIn. So the reason LinkedIn doesn't work for so many is most people are cold pitching. Now, the industry's own statistics say that cold pitching has a 0.4% success rate. 0.4% from connecting and hitting them up to coming out the other side with sales is 0.4%. Let's just have a dose of reality for a moment. This is not sales, right? If this is sales, we're all pretty crap at this. 0.4% is not great. It's really bad. But we get the thrill of closing a sale at the end, even if it's only 1 or 2 from the process. So we can delude ourselves into thinking that burning and churning 1,000 connections to get 4 sales is a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. How many sales did you lose because of that process? So we really need to change the conversation and actually start thinking about good old-fashioned selling skills, good old-fashioned relationship building skills, and putting them into a digital context, because that's when 0.4% looks really bad. Let me put you in another scenario. If you put anybody on the phone, I mean literally anybody on the phone, and told them to dial numbers and gave them a script, anybody, they would achieve a 0.4%. If you put anybody on LinkedIn and send 1,000 messages, assuming you aren't banned, they'll probably close a sale. There's no sales skills here to do this. Now, that might seem an advantage, but actually what happens is you burn more prospects. So let me show you a different way. So we've done the research on this. 60% of LinkedIn users are reluctant to connect with someone based on how their profile is presented. Now, I'm not just talking about profile optimization. I'm talking about seeding your value proposition through your profile. Half the battle is getting people to want to have a relationship with you, getting people to say, I'm interested in, yeah, I'll connect with you because you seem like somebody that's interesting and it's worth having you in my world. So where most people go wrong is they embark on this process of hard and cold pitching, and their connection numbers have to go up. But they go up with the people who, basically the 40% who probably will connect with anybody. Not the real high quality prospects and clients you really want, just the people who will connect with anybody. They're the least likely to respond to messages, they're the least likely to engage you, and they're probably the least valuable sales as well. So just be aware that whilst you may be growing your connections, if you're not the right ones, if you're not growing it with the right people, it will affect what you're doing. 41% of people check out somebody's content before they even decide to accept or reject a connection request. So again, salespeople, the advocate for producing content is massive. And I don't mean corporate propaganda. I mean actually humanized, get your value proposition across, you as a salesperson, you as a representative of the company, and get your personality across, because without that, you're going to get less of the right people connecting with you. So, reality check. Majority of LinkedIn users ignore LinkedIn messages. The majority. That's why cold pitching doesn't work, because they just don't read it. It's like, who's this? Don't know them. Ignore it. No reason to look at it. I've got no reason to even open it. Yeah. So while some of you are there tweaking the message, thinking, oh, if I say this, will it help? The majority of them are not being opened for one reason. They haven't interacted with you previously. If you haven't interacted with you previously, it's not going to happen. So just let me show you a different way. We've taught this way to a number of large companies and implemented it in different ways to help them achieve sales without churning and burning. So we call this the 7 steps of social selling. It's about building relationships the right way, earning trust, and earning the conversation. It's not connect, pitch. It's not connect and wait a day and pitch. It's about building a two-way relationship. It takes time, but it yields the most sales and it yields the most meaningful conversations. You can build your whole pipeline off LinkedIn if you invest in this methodology. It increases acceptance rates, which helps the health of your LinkedIn account. It builds rapport before you ever even get into a pitch situation. It keeps prospects warm even if they aren't ready to buy right now, and it increases your message reply rate by more than 200%. But in some scenarios, if you're doing the cold pitching thing, it's probably like 10,000%, because the way you're doing it, you're probably getting a handful of replies of 1,000 messages. So it's a different way of using LinkedIn, and I'm just going to give you a visual overview of it. Who do you need to create relationships with? First thing do, let's prospect map. Let's find all the people that can influence or be part of our sales process, whether that's specific companies or specific roles, and we map them all. So we know this is our pipeline for the next 6, 12, 18 months, 2 years, and we're going to work on it all now, so we reap the rewards in 6 months' time, 9 months' time, 12 months' time, 2 years' time, 5 years' time. And that might seem like a lot of work in the outset, but it's a lot of work that pays off big time when you do this, rather than thinking about immediately right in front of you, thinking longer term. In 6 months, 3 to 6 months, you can actually turn this into completing your full pipeline, but you have to do the work at the front end. So 3 to 6 months to actually make this work. Most people don't want to wait that long. They want it now, they want it next week, they want it this month. And what happens then is they go to cold pitching, because cold pitching will get you results tomorrow or next week, as long as you can send you 1,000 messages. But you will exhaust your network really quickly of leads. You'll burn so many people and exhaust your network. So this process is about building something over 3 to 6 months that actually yields rewards in the 3 to 6 months. So it's profitable, you've got ROI in the 3 to 6 months, but in the long run, you've actually got a solid pipeline for the next few years. And that's really the game plan. It's thinking big and long term about LinkedIn, whilst everybody else is only thinking a week ahead of themselves. So the first thing you want to do is map them. Then you want to be known by your prospects. This is where your content piece comes into play. So the idea is that you use your content not to just blast your marketing propaganda, but it's actually create top of mind positioning for your salespeople, top of mind positioning for them, so that they're never forgotten. And one of their key jobs with their content is not to get the brand name known of the company. It's to seed the value proposition of your product or service, which is a different type of content. And I don't see many people doing this, but you're seeding the value proposition of your product or service through the salesperson's content. You get attention, visibility, and interaction. So this is what it does. And then you start to see those prospects engaging with you. And then we show salespeople how to do what we call a pain point post. When you do these pain point posts, you actually generate inbound leads. And so this is really important to understand, that you can create inbound leads with pain point posts. Prospecting and content together with our 7-step model. So the model helps give structure and a process to earn a relationship, to earn trust, and earn a conversation. The content gets you the attention, visibility, top of mind, micro-influencing, and allows you to seed the value proposition. Why is this important? Because when you get into a sales conversation, half of the battle of building the relationship, showing trust and evidencing credibility in the salesperson. You can be the biggest company in the world, but if they don't trust the salesperson, it doesn't happen. Building trust in the salesperson so that half the battle for the salesperson is done. Then we use intentional content. So this is lead magnets, resources, all of these things. These help us see out of our prospect list who's ready and got the appetite to buy right now. So it brings the prospects ready to buy out of the woodwork. You get deeper insights live for the salesperson, all through LinkedIn. You don't need any other software. So all through LinkedIn. Deeper insights on the interest levels. You can create customize that based on how people respond, and you're understanding the key pains of your customers And a key element of this is LinkedIn Smart Links, very known piece of software that actually transforms the way you can use LinkedIn. And then it's about conversations and the strategies about using conversation. Now, if you've built relationships, you've already had two-way interaction with these prospects. You've already had it. And that's part of the 7-step model that we teach. Build the interactions before you ever have a sales conversation. So you've already had two-way interactions with these people, and you might be doing this at all levels in a business, particularly if it's a large account you're trying to work on. But then the beauty of it is your messages don't look like emails anymore. It looks like you're in a WhatsApp feed with somebody you already know, because you've invested the time to change the nature of your relationship with that prospect. Instead of you being a salesperson and they being the prospect, it's now Dean and whoever. And that's the real difference of how this works. Does it deliver? Yes. Can it deliver in 3 to 6 months? Absolutely. Can a salesperson use this to hit their quota, hit their targets in a 12-month period? Absolutely. I've got companies I work with whereby we're actually targeted to support them and the salespeople in achieving a sales target, and we have a goal, a literal sales goal. So that's how it works. It's a different way of using LinkedIn. And if you want to know more about how this can work for your business, drop us a message on email or check us out on our website, or you can direct message me on LinkedIn.